Imagine this. You're the most powerful person in the world. You have unimaginable wealth, absolute authority, and armies at your command. You can have anything you want, except for one thing: more time. This was the reality for many Chinese emperors, and their desperate quest for immortality led them down a bizarre and deadly path. One that involved trying to drink liquid gold. It sounds like a myth, doesn't it? A fairy tale about a greedy king. But this wasn't a fairy tale. For emperors like Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China, the fear of death was all-consuming. After surviving multiple assassination attempts, he became obsessed with living forever. He dispatched expeditions to find mythical islands where immortals were said to reside, and he turned to the most trusted scientists of his day, the alchemists. Now, ancient Chinese alchemy, or Weiden, wasn't just about turning lead into gold. Its primary goal was far more ambitious: to create an elixir of life. The alchemists believed that materials that didn't decay, like gold and cinnabar, bright red mercury, all held the key to eternal life. Their logic was simple. If flawed, if you consume something that lasts forever, you too will last forever. So they began concocting what they called jindan, or the golden elixir. These weren't just metaphorical names. The recipes often called for gold to be dissolved or made into a potable form. They believed that gold, being incorruptible and a symbol of celestial purity, could purify the body and grant immortality. Think of it as the ultimate, most exclusive health drink in history. Emperors, surrounded by luxury, saw this as the next logical step. They were already divine, the Son of Heaven. Why shouldn't they be immortal, too? But there was a huge, fatal problem. To make gold drinkable, the alchemists often dissolved it using highly toxic substances, most notably mercury cinnabar, or mercury sulfide was another star ingredient. It was prized for its vibrant eternal red color, which was associated with life and good fortune. They would heat it to separate the liquid mercury, a silvery, mesmerizing substance they called immortal water. They believed mercury was the essence of cosmic energy, a yin-yang balancer for the body. So, what happens when you drink a cocktail of gold and mercury? You get poisoned. Slowly, horrifically poisoned. The very elixirs of immortality these emperors were eagerly consuming were, in fact, cocktails of heavy metal poison. The symptoms were brutal. We're talking about neurological damage, kidney failure, liver damage, and severe mental deterioration. Ironically, some of the early signs of mercury poisoning, like a reddish, flushed complexion, was sometimes misinterpreted as a sign that the elixir was working, that the drinker was gaining a more youthful, vibrant appearance. They were literally glowing with poison. Qin Shi Huang himself is widely believed to have died from mercury poisoning at the age of 49. His relentless pursuit of immortality ended up drastically shortening his life. And he wasn't the only one. Throughout Chinese history, a tragic parade of emperors followed in his footsteps. each one hoping to be the one who finally cracked the code to eternal life. Let's look at the Tang dynasty, often considered a golden age of Chinese culture. Several of its emperors fell victim to the same deadly ambition. Emperor Shanzong, for example, became so fixated on alchemy that his behavior grew erratic and paranoid. His ministers pleaded with him to stop, but he trusted his alchemists more. He died suddenly, likely from a stroke or seizure induced by the elixirs he was taking. His successors, Muzong and Wuzong, also dabbled in these deadly potions and met similarly premature ends. It became a tragic pattern. A new emperor would ascend the throne, become fearful of his own mortality, and turn to the same alchemists who had likely poisoned his father or grandfather. So why did they keep doing it? It's a combination of desperation, superstition, and the echo chamber of the imperial court. The emperors were isolated, surrounded by people who told them what they wanted to hear. The alchemists, whether they were true believers or clever charlatans, promised the ultimate prize. They would present evidence of their success, perhaps pointing to the physical changes in the emperor or conducting elaborate theatrical experiments that seemed magical. The recipes themselves were shrouded in secrecy and complex rituals. They weren't just mixing ingredients, they were performing a sacred cosmic act. Texts described precise firing times, symbolic arrangements, and astrological alignments needed to create the elixir. This complexity made it seem more legitimate. If an elixir failed or made someone sick, the alchemist could always blame an impure ingredient. A misstep in the ritual or the emperor's own lack of spiritual purity. It was never the fault of the core idea. The emperors, for their part, wanted to believe. The alternative, accepting their own mortality like a common peasant, was unthinkable. They were the center of the universe. The laws of nature, they believed, should bend for them. This arrogance, combined with a genuine terror of the unknown, created the perfect market for these deadly cures. It's a fascinating and cautionary tale about the limits of power and the human fear of death. These emperors had everything, but their desire for more led them to ignore common sense and embrace a pseudoscience that slowly destroyed them from the inside out. They drank gold and mercury, hoping to become gods, but instead they just became tragic proof that there is no shortcut to immortality. The only thing their golden elixirs made eternal was the story of their own folly. Thank you so much for watching. It's a wild piece of history, isn't it? If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the strange and incredible parts of our past. Let me know in the comments what other historical obsessions you'd like to explore. Until next time, stay curious.